Engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Ha-ha! Hello and welcome, everyone, to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences. So this is a podcast where my co-host and I listen to all the Cincinnati-based craft beer media that we can, just...
Consume.
Consume. Just take it in, rub it on our forearms, and, get it into us. Kind of like some guys, when they get to around their 50s and they're... Okay, never mind. Anyways, so... we get together to podcast host. Thank you, Higher Gravity, for being a gracious podcast host. We are at Higher Gravity Summit Park, and if you're ever out at the north side part of town, or the neighborhood north side, stop in at Higher Gravity North Side.
Hell yeah. And if you haven't bought your beer vent box from Higher Gravity yet, do it soon.
Yes.
They are getting close to selling out, and in November, sales pick up because people start panicking. So go to Higher Gravity Craft House, HAUS.com, and pre-order yours, and ignore any emails that say your order's ready. The boxes will not be ready until closer to Thanksgiving-ish, end of November. Keep an eye on your email for that. Pay no attention to what Square and the website and all that say.
Listen to us.
Yeah.
Listen to us.
We know what we're talking about.
We told you not to pay attention to that. So, listen to all the content. Thank you, Higher Gravity. What I hope...
Who are you?
Well, what I hope is that there aren't too many consequences from the hosts of the other shows, hence Truth, Beer, and Podsequences. But who I am Marco. I am a taproom manager here locally. And that other voice you heard belongs to the best co-host in Podcastlandia.
I am Julia, and while I may not have a 12-foot skeleton decoration in my yard, I take comfort in knowing that I have never put a hamburger bun on top of my burger upside down.
Yeah. You haven't gotten one like that?
No, I have not.
You haven't gotten one with the bun upside down?
No. If you have no idea what we're talking about, because there are too many podcasts out in the world, there is a wonderful podcast out there called Your Stupid Opinions.
It's
where
awesome.
Two comedians they review other people's reviews that are online. And this latest episode, the talk about the hamburger, Jimmy Wisman, dying listening to that story. I rewound and I listened to that part 4 times. I was beside myself. It was fantastic.
It was
fantastic.
Good. It was good. It was good. I listened to that podcast as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's very funny. Some weeks I listen to it twice.
Yes.
Just because it's that funny. And it's so jealous. They're so good at doing that stuff. Man, golly.
Brilliant.
Anyway, so craft beer podcast or craft beer content stuff we listen to. No good craft beer podcast would be a good craft beer podcast if we weren't having some sort of beverage of some sort. We want you to know we're not like those fake ass podcasts that don't drink while they're recording. We do the hard work, and it's for you.
Yes.
For you, the listener. And by the way,
we're drinking because of you. Wait,
yes.
That sound right?
Exactly right.
Yes, okay.
Also, go and follow Cincy Beer Events if you haven't already. That is our other podcast where it is what it says it is.
We tell you about Cincy Beer Events that are coming up in the next roughly 3 months.
Yeah, basically 3 months. So we're into December, folks. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy to think.
Insane.
In the memory. Anyway, it's kind of crazy to think we're talking about December. And
I don't like it.
I know. I don't really.
I know.
Good job.
Someone had to do it.
And so we, like I said, follow that podcast, share, and follow. Thank you for listening to this one. For all of those of you who have been with us a long time, if you're a first-time listener, thank you. And all you got to do is listen to this one, then maybe listen to a past episode or two. You get it. You get what's going on here. And so thank you. Let's see, Julia.
Marco.
What you drinking?
I am finishing up my lunch.
Yeah.
We split a bottle of lunch.
Maine
Beer Company lunch is such a freaking phenomenal
good beer.
It is
really
so
good beer.
Fantastic. And then once I'm done with this, I'm going to be sharing the beer that you're going to tell us about.
Yeah, so I'm having a Kolsch from, is that Sunner?
Sunner? Yeah, I don't know.
Sunner. brewed and bottled by Sooner, and that's from Cologne, Germany.
Cologne?
Cologne.
I don't know.
Cologne.
Gnome at us. Let us know the proper pronunciation of this.
Cologne.
And the reason we're drinking this is because we are trying to speak another Northern Row Kolsch night into existence.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good stuff. It's a fun time.
Very good stuff.
Fun time. So anyways, yes. This is a podcast that recaps audio and visual Cincinnati beer content, craft beer content.
Yes.
What do we have to go over this week, Julia? Let the listeners know. What did we watch or listen to?
I'm going to do what I do every week and say this could be a shorter episode because we only have two shows to talk about.
Just make it a staple. Always say it.
We always say it, and then those are the episodes that end up going on for like over an hour. So let's see what actually happens. We have Brew Sky's Booze News from October 23rd from this past Monday to talk about. Awesome. And then we have the Weekly Pint from, as we record this, last night.
Yes,
also
we
this
record.
past Monday.
We're currently recording on Tuesdays.
Yes.
And the Weekly Pint comes out Monday.
As does Brew Sky's Booze News. It's almost like there's a connection between the two.
Interesting.
And you know what? Another thing
What?
I'll tell you what.
What?
We say that we are a true craft beer podcast because we actually drink on this show. The two that we're recapping are also true craft beer shows because they also actively drink
Yes,
on
they
their
do.
shows. Yes,
They do.
yes.
More to come on that.
True dat. Where do you want to start? Weekly Pint or Brew Skies? Let's just jump right into it.
Let's start on Weekly Pint.
Weekly Pint. All right. So this was episode 190, and the title does not exactly qualify or quantify what the episode was about for the most part. The title of this episode was The Lion Returns, which I know what that's referring to, The Fest Finalists, and Beer Booze Bunks Preview, which we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. This was a very short episode. It was only about 20 minutes as opposed to the, 40-ish minutes that...
Did it go
Weekly
20
Pint
minutes,
normally is.
really?
It was like 19 and change.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So just under. So I'm calling it 20 minutes.
That's it. Call it.
There was a ton of chaos going on in the Gnome household, in Gnome life, so he didn't think he was going to make it happen. Like, he had actually posted, sorry guys, life, family, all that, no Weekly Pint tonight. And then like 15, 20 minutes later, I get the notification, the Gnarly Gnome is going live. And I'm like, holy cow, cool. So let me, jump on and stop watching the football game. And we ended up hanging out virtually in this virtual happy hour with the Grumpy Gnome and his peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grumpy Gnome and his nuts. And so that's another reason
That's
for
almost
all
every
of you.
Tuesday typically for us. Yeah.
That's true. Another reason to go and follow, subscribe, or like whatever it is to the Weekly Pint. That way you get notifications.
Yes.
You get a notification that your event is going to start in a half an hour.
Yep.
And then you get a notification when it actually starts.
Yes.
Because a lot of times look, man, he's not punching a clock for these, right? He's like, it's ish. It's a 9:30-ish, and sometimes 9:30-ish could be 10:30-ish or 11:30-ish. It just all depends. So yeah, do that. And comes on, and right from the get-go says, yeah, not going to do what I was going to do.
Because I'm grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm grumpy. I'm not even wearing my headphones. I'm just going to be drinking a beer, eating some peanuts, so you guys talk amongst yourself, and I'm going to sit here.
Yep.
Which was a little awkward at first, and then he's like, okay, guys, I can't just sit here. I need to tell you about something.
Yeah.
So he told us about the Oktoberfest Quest finalists. We got the
five breweries.
Before I kind of talk about that, because this can't be a super long recap because there's not very much to cover. And
watch us work though.
And exactly. But so I don't want to take away anything that Gnome still wants to talk about with people on the Weekly Pint.
Okay.
So I will just ask you, from the title, we all know Beer, Booze, and Bonks Preview. We already know.
So are you going to give them just a little bit? Like a burlesque version of the
Yes.
Oktoberfest
Yes.
Quest finally?
Yes, I'm not going to take off like the overcoat to show you the nipple tassels, but the overcoat's going to be a little sheer so you know the nipple tassels are there.
Right.
Yes. So Beer, Booze, and Bunks preview. You know what that's going to be. It's going to be Gnome teasing some of the beers that are going to show up at Beer, Booze, and Bunks. The brewery list, or not even brewery, but the breweries, distilleries, the drink providers, he's already put that out there. Those are already out on thegnarlygnome.com. I think he made a couple mentions of them on social media as well. So we know who is going to be there, but we don't know what they are going to be bringing. And he tries to ensure that...
Did you see that, Julia?
I did not.
Good news.
Because
new
I'm
COVID
not
variant.
facing the... Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean...
Good.
For
Congratulations,
for people
COVID,
that
on creating a new variant.
It's no different than the fucking flu. Almost
go.
every season there's a new variant of that because it's a mutating thing. So this doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's acting like the flu. So
No, it's just a headline.
But be safe. You know what I mean? Be safe about stuff. Because
And go to Beer, Booze, and Bunks.
Hell yeah. I'm going to make up some of the beers that are going to be, or some of the beverages, I'll say, that are going to be at Beer, Booze, and Bunks because Gnome did not.
Okay.
So I am going to say that there is going to be
I think there's going to be a smoked red cream Astra variant.
Most likely.
Smoked red cream.
Yeah, I can see that. What I was going to say, and kind of on the same red theme, do you remember those ice cream bars when we were a kid?
When I was a kid, I could have ice cream, which is really weird.
So
I cannot now.
You cannot now. So you might remember these. You might have had these. It was an ice cream bar, but it was covered with. There were two versions, like a chocolate and a strawberry. They were covered with like little balls of some sort of batter or something, like some crunchy things that covered the outside of the ice cream bar.
Okay.
There is going to be a beer, an ale, with that as the flavor. And hopefully people know what I'm talking about.
Nice.
I don't know how to describe it more. Like I can picture it
I'm
in
old
my
enough
head.
to where strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate was pretty much the variety you had as ice cream.
Yeah.
I mean, and then as I got a little bit older, they got crazy and had pistachio ice cream. It's like, whoa, and it's green. That's amazing. I used to love pistachio ice cream when I was a kid.
Josh loves that.
It was
Whenever we go
fantastic.
somewhere. Oh, these. So I'm showing Marco a picture.
Ooh, yeah.
Do you remember those?
Yeah, of course
I don't know.
remember
I don't know
those.
what to call them, but they're like, if you Google strawberry crunch covered ice cream bar, you will find a picture of this. Maybe I'll put a picture on social media for this.
It's probably
Maybe
a
I'll
good idea.
forget. I don't know. But there's going to be an ale with that flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I am saying that's going to be something that's going to be at Beer, Booze, Bunks, Boinks, Binks, Biscuits, Boobs, Bananas, Bugs, and I already said bananas.
You said
Basketballs.
bananas.
Sure.
Basketball.
Because why not?
Because Julia knows basketball.
I am going to say, you already said there's going to be a smoked Astra, red cream Astra.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say that there is going to be a blueberry vanilla barrel aged stout. I'm going to throw that out there.
Nice.
And this is kind of fun because as much as, the Gnome is our, third podcast member, he hasn't told us anything.
No.
We kind of have asked. We don't. Sort of like me with the beer vent box.
He
I'm
just
like,
told
I
us to be
don't
there
want it
Thursday
spoiled.
for the finale.
Yes.
But
Yeah. That was a fun invite. So it's like, hey, is this the invite? He's like, yeah, I'm just telling you that you guys have to be there. It's like, all right.
No calligraphy involved
Glad
or
I
anything?
didn't. Glad I didn't already have plans. And you give one more, prediction on what's going to be at Beer, Booze, Bunks, Boinks, Binks, and then I'll give one more, and then we'll move on. What else do you think, or what else do you, air quotes, know is going to be? What flavor, what variant, what style, what something is?
Oh, there has to be hazy lactose Pilsner.
Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah.
Okay. And the last one that I'm going to tease out is we know that Turtles Brew is going to be there, and they're kind of like the bourbon lemonade in milk jugs.
That's right.
I'm actually really excited to try some of that. I'm going to say that they are going to be bringing a variant of that has coconut cream added.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. All right, and then
I can have coconut cream.
Okay, cool. Well, then perfect. if this is accurate,
It's from a coconut. It's not
perfect.
from a cow.
Right. True. What about almonds? When you squeeze them hard enough, you get that almond milk.
Milk the
Yeah.
almonds?
Yeah, yeah.
It's very tough.
It is,
I get in there.
yeah.
It's so.
Your hands hurt
Yeah,
afterwards.
it's very
just,
difficult to
Good
milk
grip
almonds.
strength is really needed for that. One of the other things about the title of this episode, I guess subject of the episode works as well. The Lion Returns. Do you know what that references? Or is that kind of one of those where you're like, I don't
No,
know
of
what the hell
course
this
I know.
is? Nice. Good. I drove past them, if not daily, weekly, for years and years and years. I still do. I actually drove past one of them.
Oh, then I didn't know
One of
what it
them the
was.
other day.
I thought it was the
Oh.
Lion King Returns
To theaters?
the on-off.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That is. You know what? Maybe that's what he's talking about. Maybe I'm thinking of something completely different.
Or at hockey games where they have the Simba cam where you're supposed to hold up a kid.
like, yeah. Or your dog. They do that at ball games where they have like dog nights.
Yeah.
They'll do the Simba cam and you hold up your pupper up into the air. Something that Gnome did actually talk about was the finalists for Oktoberfest Quest. So we
Yeah, the
now
finalists.
know the 5 finalists that will be competing for the Golden Gnome. Who does Gnome and apparently we are.
Well, we're going to help
We're
him decide
competent.
through
He
this
was-
trash
well-
that he decided to put all the way through the end.
Which this comes out the day after Oktoberfest Quest, so this isn't a spoiler for anyone. But it was amazing. He said on Weekly Penny, he was like, I have some incredibly competent tasting judges for this, and I'm like, he thinks we're competent. The poor guy. What the hell?
There you go. Fooled him.
No, I'm sure that it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
But what I can say, and again, because this is going to come out the day after the Oktoberfest Quest finale happens, I can tell you who the 5 finalists are not.
Let's go.
Let's do this. The finalists for this year's Oktoberfest Quest, they made it to the final round, but they are not the finalists. High Wire is out. Esoteric is out. Northern Row is out. Fretboard is out, and West Side is out. They are
R.I.P..
not the finalists, and those are all.
You are
I
not
had.
the finalist.
I did not have High Wires. If I see a can of it somewhere, I wouldn't mind grabbing it. It might be too late by now, but I had all of the other not finalists Oktoberfest. Hell, I bought the West Side Bavarian box that has Fest beer and Oktober.
Haven't seen it yet.
Oh my god! Keep an eye on Kroger. There was one 12-pack.
My Kroger is like the Walmart of Kroger's. I don't
So
think
you'll
we're
get
going
it
to
in
get
like
it.
3 months. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get it.
If I see another one, I will get you one.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. Esoterics was amazing. Northern Rose was.
There might even be a
stellar.
Facebook page.
Fretboard.
People of Kroger. That's the Walmart of Kroger.
The Walmart. That's true. That's
For my Kroger. Yeah.
yeah. Fretboard. I mean, Rock in the Rain. Rain.
Ryan.
You know, depending on how you pronunciate the syllables, it could go either way.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, because I don't know why I mispronounced it. All
Dude.
absolutely amazing Oktoberfest beers from the actual finalists that we're not going to mention because you've heard it a million times already by now. I have not had 2 of them.
Okay.
And one of them, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe one of the finalists is one that was re-voted in
Yes.
by us, the listeners
Correct.
of all things.
Well, I didn't
Known.
vote for it. I think it's a great beer.
You voted for BJ's, didn't you?
No. I voted.
You can tell me. It's
I-
okay. We're
I
friends.
did not
You
vote.
can-
I did not vote for BJ's. I voted.
I think we know who did, though.
Yes. Yes. I'm not going to say names. Caroline.
Oh, okay.
Caroline.
Oh, okay. I heard nothing. I heard absolutely nothing.
No, but I voted for Northern Row.
Mm-hmm.
The one that was eliminated earlier.
I voted.
Because at the time, I think the second Northern Row was still in the competition. There were 2 Northern Rows.
Yeah, I think you are. Yeah, I think you're correct on that. I voted for, because I voted for, more than once for a couple of them because there's some fantastic beers that, didn't go too far in the competition. But yeah, I voted for Northern Row and I voted for one that is now in the finals, one that didn't make it through round 1.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about that.
Says a lot about that.
That says a lot about
Did
that.
we hit longer than the actual episode?
Well, so we are at, as of recording time, so editing time is going to be a little different. Recording time, we're at 20 minutes.
All right.
So, no, this recap, it was actually
Well, then
under,
well,
so
then
we failed.
We better punt.
We failed miserably.
Well, you got to punt.
Got to punt.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we're done with this. 4th down, we're punting it away. And
Yeah,
we
I mean,
are...
we're not the Philadelphia Eagles. We're not going to go for the brotherly shove.
Or the Niners, who, they kind of screwed the pooch a little bit. Man, the end of the Vikings-Niners games last night, that was pretty spectacular.
It's good.
Pretty spectacular.
Good stuff.
Let's see. Did you have anything else on episode 190 of the Weekly Pint?
No, we have
the
to
one
punt.
where he only talked about the Oktoberfest Quest finalists. Yeah, it's true.
Punt.
It's true. We have other stuff to
Send
do.
in Kevin Huber.
He's not with us anymore. Well, yeah,
That's
I see
why
what
he
you
could be
did.
here.
I see. Kevin Huber, where are you? We need you here now.
Yeah. Where
I wonder
in
if
the
he's still in
world is...
Cincinnati. Kevin Huber. That
There
didn't
you
really
go.
work. Yeah.
It worked fine.
The syllables. There weren't enough syllables, which I really need to start prepping for beer event season and the parodies and the things. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want me to send you a list of
tricky.
Fergie songs?
Sure. That'd be
Okay.
great. That'd be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yep. Get you a list of Fergie songs.
Oh man, that would be something. I will just say that.
Would be something.
We good to roll right on into Brew Sky's Booze News?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. This is the episode that came out on October 23rd. The title, as of me writing down the title, because sometimes they change the titles after the fact, it was called The Rapid Rise of Non-Alcoholic Beer.
Yes.
What will the title be when you listen to this episode? Who knows?
Who knows?
But it came out on the 23rd of October, so that is how you know you're watching the same episode that we are now going to be talking about. Bret looked incredibly different this week.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly different. Maybe it was the hat. We weren't getting the hair. We got the hat. Still had a very tiny glass there.
Hair. What?
Bret's hair?
Yeah, Bret's hair.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was the fact that we weren't seeing the hair, that he just looked completely different. And
Very
Mike
different.
was much more dressed down than normal.
Yeah.
So it was a very odd experience.
Must have not
to get
had
started.
an interview or something that
It's
Friday.
true. That's
Or
very true. Or
Thursday.
court. And again, not a court date for him, like needing to do whatever, but he's a lawyer.
No judgment.
So maybe some judgment.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. we
bald, so.
judge you out of love, Mike.
Yeah.
We judge you out of love. I don't know if that's a thing, but sure, we'll go with it. I spy some new things behind the bar. It looks like there were a couple changes to the background.
Was.
That's always fun.
That's interesting.
That is always fun. And hello. I don't know who's calling us, but it looks like it says possible spam. So no, thank you.
Okay.
Did I don't know if it'll still show up. Did I show you when I got a spam call on my phone? And let's see if it shows up. Look at what it came up on the caller ID. Nuisance likely. Not possible spam or like potential spam or whatever.
Nuisance likely.
Nuisance likely.
Why is that my phone number?
That's oh shit! You saw that? Crap! I thought that was phenomenal. I've never seen anything like that before, and
Got to figure out what's
I
wrong
love
with
it.
my number.
I'm sure it's just a goof on the carrier side. Yeah. That's totally it. That's
carrier.
not my contact for you. In case you're wondering why we're talking so much about, Bret looking different hair, the gnarly gnome was standing in for Bret because
Hell yeah.
Bret is in Asia getting malaria or something like that.
Yeah.
Currently. Getting malaria, getting drunk, speaking at a brewer's conference. It could be any of those things. We don't know.
He's trying to save the golden child.
He truly is.
He's on his way to Tibet.
Such a good guy.
Yep.
So we were stuck with Mike and Gnome
Yep.
for this week. Let's see. Beer drinking monkey in Indianapolis on the loose, which is amazing.
Julie, did I tell you that somebody I work with was trying to buy a monkey?
Oh my God. Okay. We're in Ohio. Where do you get a freaking monkey?
Okay, so he showed me a picture of this monkey.
Okay. Is it like a face ripping off, kind of like chimp monkey? Like
It could
is it
be.
like a weird? Okay.
It could be. He said he was going to buy a monkey, and so I texted him. He showed me at work, and then last night I sent him a text because I was watching, and I was like, wait a minute. somebody I was watching the episode and they start with the monkey story. And I was like,
Yeah.
somebody at my work was trying to buy a monkey. And I was like,
What? I just
so this is the actual text exchange. Do you have a picture of that monkey you are buying? And he sends me the picture of the monkey.
Oh my goodness. It's like a little pygmy monkey. Like
Yeah.
But I don't know how much bigger than that it's going to get. Like I don't know.
No idea.
So
And I said, awesome, thanks, with a thumbs up emoji. And he
for
said,
sending you the picture of the monkey, right? Yeah.
I don't think this one's going to work out, he says. But we have
Well,
found
how-
some other people selling them. We will end up with one for sure.
Who's selling freaking monkeys?
I just want people to
Wait,
not. I want
no,
people to not
please-
do that.
please
I want
don't.
people to stop doing that.
Please don't. I mean,
It's funny on one hand, but it's not funny on the other.
No.
You shouldn't have monkeys.
no.
Now, a case could be
No,
made is if somebody has a monkey
Is it maybe their
domestically,
emotional support monkey? I
should
mean,
they, what do you do with it? Well, first of all, shouldn't have it. Second of all, find a,
some
find
sort
a
of rescue?
Yes, just send
or
them,
wildlife rehab unit.
put
Yeah,
them
yeah,
there
yeah.
somewhere,
Sanctuary.
please. Let's stop the the spread, the proliferation
the
of
extreme exotics pet trade.
yeah. We just shouldn't do it.
I agree.
And I don't mean to be on a soapbox, but we just
It
it shouldn't happen. They're not domesticated.
No.
it shouldn't happen.
I still want to know where he is looking that he found a monkey. What kind of interaction did he have with the seller to know, yeah, this one's not for us, but we're going to get one still. There are plenty of other people's.
Yeah.
Where is he look? Well, like, I don't know. I don't understand.
I don't know.
Don't-
He bought an Astra van with the back of it cut off,
Oh, my God.
so it looks like it looks like
So he's a whole vibe, basically.
it looks like an El Camino, but it's an Astra van.
That was
Yeah.
the title of one of our episodes. I learned to drive in an Astro van.
I did. It's true. True. Yeah.
Just don't give. If you do have a monkey, don't give it beer because then it'll
Definitely
run-
don't spank it either.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Have to reason with it. Try and be just smarter than the monkey.
That's pretty tricky these days. Yeah. Oh my God. What else besides beer drinking monkeys? Let's see. London prisoners make a lot of hooch.
It doesn't matter if they're in London or not. Prisoners make
Make a
hooch.
hooch anyway. Yes.
I know
How
a
much
person.
hooch have you made in prison, Marco? So much, because I know that so much.
So much, so much prison, so much hooch.
It's just like drugs. How many drugs you take? All of them.
Yeah,
Poor Zane Lamprey. Oh my God. Every time he sees you and every time he's back in town, he's like, oh God, it's the drug guy.
it's the drug guy.
So freaking fantastic. Did you hear what the main ingredients they use to make prison hooch in London? Because that's what the story was about,
Yeah.
was the London, side of things.
Right.
Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sometimes they use orange juice. Again, okay, I
sense.
can see that. And then gummy bears,
Yeah.
bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
Did I just show my age?
Vincent watches that.
It is such a fun cartoon.
I walked in
my
like, what
God.
are
Like,
you
what are you
watching?
doing?
And Rachel just goes, he's watching Gummy Bears. I'm like,
Well, I know
What?
that, but what?
what?
What? They moved from that into RTDs. It is still a growing marketplace. Absolute Coke is coming.
Great.
And they had the funniest, and I say they, it's mostly Mike, the funniest reaction to the RTD that's potentially on the horizon to come out. That is vodka and Sprite.
so,
Is that even a cocktail? It's
so
two ingredients.
pathetic. No, it's a
Can you
highball.
not mix it yourself? Like, why? Oops.
It's so pathetic.
Why the hell do you need to have that pre-made? Why? I don't know. I will say when I was doing low carb, eons ago, that was my drink of choice. I would do vodka, Sprite Zero, and then a squirt of Mio if I wanted a little extra flavor to it.
Sure.
But
well,
I had
you
to,
always need a squirt of flavor.
Little
Look.
But I never thought, God, this is such a pain to make. I wish this was already mixed up for me. What? Like
So I do agree with the one thing that they said. I mean, the number one selling packaged beverage across the world is bottled water. I mean, what are we doing, people?
You're not wrong.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got so many different vessels to put liquid in. I just put water in one of them.
I prefer my water to be pre-canned, not pre-bottled.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
put it in the can.
Yeah, it's easier to recycle.
Just put it in the same place you put the bottle.
Yeah, but plastics, microplastics and blah, blah, blah. And I guess plastics aren't as easily and infinitely recyclable as aluminum is and blah, 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 blah.
Whole nother discussion.
All
about
kinds
that.
of other discussions, which is why I did the blah, 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 because
Yeah.
we're not digging into that. That is, yes, that is a much, much, much bigger topic than we have time to do tonight. Non-alcoholic beverages are still growing like crazy. They are up, 32% this year in sales, I believe is what they said. Ridiculous. But what really surprised me was the percentages of the market share in the U.S. versus, I believe it was Europe. I didn't have that written down. Non-alcoholic beverages are about 0.9% of the market share here in the United States.
Okay.
In Europe, 5.8%.
It's always been the case, though.
Has it been? Okay.
It's always been the
I guess I
case.
never looked.
It's always been the case where in Europe, their non-alcoholic percentage has always been several factors larger than the United States.
Really? Okay. Okay. I guess I never really looked into those numbers, so maybe I shouldn't be that surprised.
The fact that it's growing as a category and growing so fast, and it's numbers based off of the size of their category currently or previously. So when you have a 33% growth and you're only at 0.9%,
that says something, yeah.
It's growing, but it's not. You may be in a fast growing category, but it's just still. You're not even 1%.
Right.
But it could be more than 1%. Okay, great.
Yeah,
so
sure,
what if it's 2%?
Yeah, that's true.
Give it all of that. It's 2%. It's only 2%.
So maybe those numbers weren't surprising to you, but was it surprising to you who the number one kind of, I don't want to say shareholder, but who holds kind of the number one spot in the non-alcoholic beverage world, as far as the U.S. is concerned? I thought it would have been Athletic, and it was not.
It's not, because Athletic is considered a craft brand, and Heineken is, one of the big boys.
Okay. But I mean, the way that Athletic is promoted and is out there, it just kind of surprised me that it wasn't. Yeah.
It's still cheaper to buy Heineken Zero than it is Athletic.
Okay.
Because they're pricing Heineken Zero the same price as Heineken.
That makes sense.
You can get 12-ounce bottles of Heineken Zero for, I don't know, what is it, $12.99 or whatever,
Gotcha.
$13.99, whatever the current, it's that weird in between. It's not light domestic. It's that import sort of weird Midland before you get to craft.
Gotcha.
Whereas
that makes sense.
a 6-pack of Athletic is going to set you back. I think it's $10.99 a 6-pack.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That does make sense when you put it into perspective that way. And man, this Kolsch is all right, but man, it definitely has some skunk going on to it.
Yeah.
You know whose Kolsch doesn't? Northern
Row.
on Kolsch night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, trying to speak another Kolsch night into existence. So Northern Row, we know you listen.
I'm going to have
we
to
hope
get
you listen.
something else to scrape the skunk off my tongue.
You and me both. All right, let's move on to talking about how the most boring generation of all is here.
Yeah.
They just don't do anything at all, except complain. I think they complain a fair amount.
Do a lot of sleeping in the
But-
afternoons.
True. Very, very true. What does Gen Z do? They're
Well,
not
they're trying to
drinking.
figure it
They're
out.
not. Yes.
They're trying to figure it out.
Maybe
And
next week-
Mom and Dad, can you please leave my room while I'm trying to figure this out?
Fair point. I bet that Mike will have an update on that next week. He's very good at researching these kinds of things. Apparently, bottomless brunch leads to vomiting outside
Please don't vomit.
to avoid the vomit charge for vomiting in the restaurant, which, as kind of both Mike and Gnome said, didn't realize that was so much of an issue.
Yeah, for
you know what I mean?
For a
Like,
generation that doesn't drink and doesn't do anything, I guess they decide to really let their hair down.
Well, but
at
outside of that, like let's just
bottomless
think
brunches.
about, and we'll just throw generations into whatever. Let's just say previous generations who did go and they actually drink and
they brunched responsibly.
Well, how I have never heard of, man, it's a real problem. People are just throwing up at their tables left and right. I've never heard that that's been like a problem that needs to be fixed.
Never heard of
so maybe it's just this one specific restaurant that has a problem. And if so, maybe they need to look internally to find the source of the problem. I mean, maybe their brunch, maybe when they're putting like the shrimp cocktails in the Bloody Marys or the whatever, maybe they're serving bad food and that's why people are vomiting.
Yeah,
and
I was kind of thinking about that. It's not a drunk thing. Maybe they're just food poisoning people.
Exactly. Like,
see,
it's a conspiracy.
Could be.
Nothing else to it.
Got to blame it on the man. Can't be them.
No.
They're not overindulging.
No. You can find out by watching this episode exactly how many times Mike has thrown up in a bar or restaurant. And if you've watched plenty of these episodes, you may think you know, but the answer is much worse than you could have thought.
There you go.
Yeah.
Much, much worse.
The non-alcoholic story, the land of Argentine. Oh my God, their leader juggles chainsaws.
Yeah.
It is fascinating and phenomenal, and he may try to take over the world one day with the things he's trying to do.
Right.
And we should all be just fear for our safety.
Go and watch, and you will be more informed on why we should be fearful of this.
The Argentines.
The Argentine.
And again,
leader.
How do you pronounce certain words on Brew Sky's Booze News?
Yeah.
I had one other note, which is the question of the day.
Okay.
And then I have the sip count.
And then is that where we end?
And that's where we end.
Hold on. We got to take a break then.
Oh, shit. You're right. We haven't taken a single break. All right. Taking a break, and then we will come back with the Brew Skies question of the week and the Brew Skies
Good
sip
time.
count.
Good time to take a break.
We'll be right back. It is really picked up in here since we took our break, but luckily we have made it back. And we have two more notes on this episode of Brew Skies Booze News from October 23rd, 2023, the rapid rise of non-alcoholic beer. We have the question of the week, which is, what are you drinking while trick-or-treating and why? Mm-hmm. To me, it's typically something darker, something a little heavier, maybe barrel-aged, maybe not, but just some type of darker beer because it's typically cooler. I think Halloween this year, it's going to be a high of like 46 at the peak of the high temperature. It's going to be a chilly Halloween. I think you and I, what are we going to be drinking? We're going to be drinking whatever higher gravity has because I believe we are going to be recording on Halloween.
That's the plan.
As it falls on a Tuesday,
That's the plan. It falls on a Tuesday, so the plan is to still do this.
As we do.
Same bat channel, same bat time.
Yeah.
We'll see if that changes.
What about
There's some
you?
Stuff going on where that might have to be altered.
You guys will still get your episodes, so don't you worry about that. It's just a matter of when it works out for our schedules. But what about you? Outside of Truth Beer Pod recording on a Halloween days, what do you have any type of go-to beverage for Halloween while you're out trick-or-treating, while you're with the kids?
Yeah, I mean, it's beer, right? Yeah, it's beer, and
it's peppermint schnapps season almost for this Halloween.
I've got it ready. I've got some ready, and so it's beer. And what I like to do is I like to have something hoppy and something sort of but fresh, light, and clean.
Okay.
And I might have some that I'd be willing to share, maybe.
Ooh. Okay.
But if that's not the case, I have enough for me to where I can kind of decide which way I want to go, whether it's light and crisp or hoppy.
I guess Urban Artifact isn't doing a trick-or-treat pack this year. I haven't heard anything at all about it.
I mean,
they could release it last minute, but that was fun last year when we
yes,
when we did that.
Yeah.
So who knows? All right, the last thing that we have to talk about for Brew Skies Booze News is the sip count.
Hell yeah.
Marco, what is the sip count for people that may not be aware, that may not have listened to some of our older episodes when shift beers and their drinking game was a thing?
So we just transitioned that to Brew Skies, and what we do, the sip count is we go ahead and we count all the sips between the hosts of Brew Skies. We add them all up, and then we let you know how many sips those are. And we use a general number of 2 ounces per sip to let you know the number of ounces, and then break that out to the number of pints you would have to drink if you were following along and sipping with the Brew Skies Booze News.
Cruise.
The
Brew Skies Booze News Cruise. I'm done. I'm not even going to try it a 4th time because it's not going to go any better than it just did. So what I did was I counted up the number of sips Gnome took.
Yeah.
I counted up the number of sips that Mike took.
Yeah.
I have those separate, and then I have the combined total. So I'm going to give you guys the combined total.
The combined sip force.
And then I want you to guess who had the most total sips, because Mike was drinking out of his schooner, as he does.
The schooner.
But Gnome had a very tiny, tiny glass.
Yes.
Mike-sized tiny
glass.
So
that was the Elton John
could have
song,
been
right?
taken,
Tiny glass.
Exactly. Yeah. Hold my beer, you tiny glasses. But yeah, so he may have taken more sips overall because his glass was much smaller. It required more refills. But I'll let you guess, and then, well, I mean, I'm sure that you counted along with me, but the total number of sips between the two.
Okay.
27 sips.
Okay.
So that's, if you're going by our math, 54 ounces,
that's right.
Which is 3.375 pints of whatever beverage you
in
choose.
less than 30 minutes.
In less than 30 minutes, yes.
Like
yes.
26 minutes or so.
Right. Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad.
So knowing that.
Not a challenge either.
No, not really. Totally not. Safe drinking is what we preach here.
Yeah.
But knowing that Mike had a big-ass schooner full of beer.
Big-ass schooner.
And Gnome had an teeny tiny
glass.
Shot glass almost that he kept refilling with beer. Who would you guess had more sips per for this episode?
I'm going to say Gnome had more sips.
Okay. Do you want to know what the breakdown was?
I do.
All right. Mr. Michael D. Morgan
brings the D.
Morgan. My apologies.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Sorry, Mike brings the D. Morgan.
Sorry, Mike. I did not mean to forget your D. Mike had 17 sips, which is 34 ounces.
That's good.
2.125 pints.
That's good.
Which means...
Well, that means that...
The gnarly Gnome...
Yeah, Mike had more.
The gnarly Gnome, as tiny as his glass was, as many sips as he took throughout this episode...
I heard about his tiny glass. I saw it.
You saw his tiny glass?
Well, it was on Brew.
That's true. He did have it just like on display out for everyone to see.
He had it out there.
He had a total of 10 sips. 20 ounces.
He's doing a lot of it. He's leading the show. He's doing the driving.
Yes. He had a full pint less than Mike with 1.125 pints.
Now, I was going to say, well, what happened when the lights went off?
Exactly.
Well,
we'll never know.
think you never know.
Exactly. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about on this episode of Brew Skies Booze News before we wrap this up?
No, I'm going to save it for what we're going to do next.
Hell yeah. Sounds perfect. If you like what we did, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a fellow drinker, tell a coworker, just tell someone. If you want to rate and review us on wherever you do your podcast stuff, do that. We would appreciate it. Follow us, subscribe to our show, subscribe to our other podcast, Cincy Beer Events, where we will let you know all about all of the beer events happening in and around the greater Cincinnati area. If you want to reach out to us, we are at Truth Beer Pod on all the social media platforms. Email address, truthbeerpod@gmail.com. And we have a website with links to everything, including our YouTube channel, which I think we might be doing another video on that very soon. And to our Patreon, where you can get the unedited episodes for our longer content. This one's pretty short, to the point. I don't know that there's going to be a lot that's edited out, so this one may not hit Patreon, but We typically give you anywhere from 10 to 45 minutes of extra content in those unedited episodes.
You can mainline the uncut shit.
Oh,
all you
yes.
got to do is be a Patreon.
Absolutely. Just all it costs is just buy us a beer with a nice tip for our bartender. And with that you get all of the jokes, all of the random tangents about generations or rabbits or God knows what else we rabbit hole down during the episode.
One of these days we'll probably
It's a hell
talk
of a lot.
about rabbits and holes.
Rancid rabbit holes. I think we already have.
Okay.
More than once.
Okay.
All right. With that being said, Marco, what are you going to be doing next Tuesday?
I mean, at least for now, the plan is this here with you. We'll figure it out, though. We'll see.
Sounds good. I will see you there.
Cheers.
Cheers.